My period never came. And I think at that point I was like, what have I done?
My Mother Said I Shouldn't with Sarah and Michaela.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of My Mother Said I Shouldn't.
With Sarah, hi, and
Michaela, if you don't already know. Hello.
Thank you for coming back.
So today is my turn.
Mm-hmm.
My mother said I shouldn't be on the contraceptive pill.
Controversial, okay.
Controversial.
Controversial. Yeah.
So controversial because I think we've worked hard to get to this place where women are really independent. They're able to pursue careers without the fear of getting pregnant. So the contraceptive pill is such an amazing thing. However, I'm starting to understand now her concerns.
Yeah, absolutely. So your mum has said not to take it.
My mum thinks that I should have used condoms. She thinks she wasn't saying no, don't ever take it. She was just saying you're messing with your hormones, and she's never taken anything like that. So she doesn't think that I should have been putting stuff like that in my body, synthetic hormones. She thinks just put a glove on it.
Put a glove on it. So imagine your mum saying that, put a glove on it.
But she didn't put a glove on it, did she? Let's face it.
And didn't obviously use
2
contraception. She didn't have the contraceptive pill. Yeah, listen, if she did, you wouldn't be here. So
This is
I'm
true.
glad she didn't.
But she had 2 children that were not planned through
Yeah.
not being on it. So, and it's changed her life. And obviously, she brought those kids up on her own. The dads didn't stay. So, what are your thoughts?
I would say my thoughts, right, mine were mixed because if I was to go back to when I think it was 16 when I was put on the contraceptive pill, but
Was it?
But it wasn't for sex. It was because I was diagnosed with polycystic ovaries.
We need to hear the story.
We need to hear the story. So at 16, I'd had a late period and I was sporty and stuff, so I just thought that's the norm. That was all right. But then when it came, I had really bad acne. Before that, the 2 years running up, I actually had really, really bad acne. And nothing was getting rid of it. And they were like, oh, it must be hormonal. So then they did tested me, I had high testosterone. They said, you've got polycystic ovaries. Then I had a period, then I didn't have a period, and it was all over the place. And they said, let's put you on the pill and it'll regulate your period. That's what we should do because you've got polycystic ovaries. So I'm like, okay, I'll have to go on the pill, right? I'll go on the pill. I wasn't having sex. I didn't even have a partner this time. I literally had never had a boy. That's a lie. I'd had a little boyfriend in primary school. But I hadn't actually had a boyfriend until that time. So I'm on the pill, like, mum and dad, I'm on the pill. But it was a high estrogen one. It was Dianette, which is really good for acne. And my sister had been on it as well for her skin. So it was kind of like, it was the norm. Anyway, so I was on that for years. I was on that until I think it was 27 when I thought, actually, it's when I met you.
Yeah, I know, because you got me on it when I had been on, I'd gone on the coil, and it was the Marina, and it played with my skin. And then when I met you, and I was on a different pill, and my skin was still flaring up, and you went, go on Dianette, it looks good for skin. So I went on that pill for a couple of years, until the doctor said I couldn't be on it any longer because you could only be on it for 2 years.
Yeah, I think it's like really bad for blood clots.
So how long were you on it for?
Years, Kate. I honestly don't know how I managed to stay on that long, but I don't have family history of clotting. So I don't know if they just kept me on it for that, and because my skin had always been so bad, they were like, well, you're healthy, we'll keep you on it, we're checking you out now and again.
Isn't it bad that that's the first thing that they did?
Oh yeah.
They just threw you, they say that you've got a hormonal issue, and then they just throw synthetic hormones onto you.
She was panicking. I think the doctor, not panicking, but I think she worried because she's like, I need to get you a regular period. Like, I want you to have a regular period. The crazy thing is though,
It's not a period.
Periods.
It's a breakthrough bleed. I didn't even know that until I stopped taking the pill recently.
I know. So they don't tell you this. And I think, and even at that, the 2 years that I had really bad skin conditions, because obviously now we know, I've had tests done now. I've come off the pill at, when did I come off the pill? 33, 34? No, 34.
About a year and a half ago.
Okay, so about a year and a half ago, so 36, 34 and a half, right? Came off the pill, have been off it. It was a journey coming off that pill, putting on the weight, just everything has been a journey coming off, and now I'm finally balanced. But going to get the test done, I went and got my ovaries scanned and things because the doctor has me down as polycystic. So I was like, I need to just check how everything is. You know, obviously I want to look to having children, but I'll be having children later. Did the scan, and she's like, you do not have polycystic ovaries. You're completely, they're you've got loads of follicles, all healthy, you're not polycystic. I had lived my whole life until 36, literally the diet. To be fair, it did help me with my diet and stuff, but the diet I was doing,
You were so strict.
I was on the pill, that pill so long, because I thought if I come off of it, I'm going to get really bad acne. My period, and I did when I was 27, came off the pill, off of it for 9 months, never got a period, because I've never actually, at this point, I've had a natural period at 16, never after that, like I never had another one. So at 27, I didn't have a period for 9 months, went to the doctor, was like, well, I've been diagnosed with PCOS, what do? Get back on the pill, we need to get you these periods up and running again. It's a quick way, and I think it's supposedly why I'm quite passionate when it comes to health coaching, because I have always been like, with everything I have been, find the root cause, eat the foods. Food is our medicine. Food is 100% our medicine, and it's preventative. If I had been put on the path of what can I do, how can I eat to try and balance these hormones, I wouldn't have been needed to go on that pill. But take me back to 16, just before 16, when my skin was really bad, would I have said no to the pill?
If it sorted your skin out?
I don't think I would have. I was at that age when I'm like, I need it. I want it.
You just wanted it clear.
I wanted it clear. And my skin was lovely. My skin has always been lovely since. Been very lucky.
I think it's so ironic that we came off the pill at the same time, and you were like, I've got PCOS, so I need to eat all these foods. I need to do it right. And I was like, I'm fine, don't have an issue. I was the same as you. I started my first pill when I was 15, 16, because my sister said, if you're having sex, go on the pill. So mine was for contraceptive reasons. I didn't want to have a baby. And the first pill made me a little bit psycho, so I came off of it.
What one was that? I think
Microgynon.
that made me psycho. They put me on, I was actually put on that at one point as well. They changed me off a Dianette, tried that. I went crazy.
Yeah, it made my boobs really big as well.
Oh, did that?
Yeah, I mean,
Did
that was
me?
maybe a positive. But I went on that, gained loads of weight, and then went mental. And then I found my way to Yasmin. Finally found my way to Yasmin, which I went on. Then I had the coil, because I was like, I don't want to be on hormones, going to have the coil. She talks me into having the Mirena instead of the copper coil, because she said, were your periods heavy prior to the pill? And I went, well, sometimes. And she went, have the Mirena, you'll love it. It's this new coil. I didn't know, but she said, oh, it's got hormones, but it just goes around this area, like your womb area. It doesn't go into your body. It did, and I lost loads of weight, shrunk, went so skinny, and I broke out in spots all over my body, to the point that I had to have it removed again. And it's horrible getting it put in, and it's even worse getting it removed.
I don't think I could do it.
And then after that, that's when you met me, and my skin was a bit all over the place. And then I went on Dianette. Skin sorted itself out, which, well, didn't sort itself out. Dianette helped. And then after that, my doctor said, you've been on it for 2 years, let's put you on a different pill. So I went, well, I'll go back on Yasmin, because that one was okay when I was last on it. And that was great. I had no issues. Also, I thought, on Yasmin. And then obviously me and you, mid-30s, I remember saying to you, and you'd been thinking about it for a while, I was going to come off, and you were like, I'm thinking the same thing. We decided to do it together, which was fun. It was good actually to have someone on that journey with me. But it was also bad in a way that I was comparing myself to you and feeling not normal. So I didn't know that there was going to be any issues with me. I thought I was fine. You come off, you're having all these amazing foods, like eating like really well, associated with PCOS. I'm doing it a little bit, I'm dabbling in that, but I'm not really supporting my body as strictly as you, because I didn't think I was PCOS, but I certainly was listening to what you were saying. So I reduced my dairy, reduced the sugar. You know, for those first 3 months, I was quite on it, reduced my alcohol. And then you got your period after 3 months, and I didn't.
Oh no, it was longer than 3 months.
Was it 3?
Oh babe, it was like...
Was it?
I was like... Yeah, it was like 6 or 7 months. 6 or 7 months. That wasn't 3 months. Oh no.
Was it not?
No, it was a lot longer than that. No.
Well, you got your period, didn't you, after however many months, which I think at this point we were still a bit like, oh, like, I can't believe it's taken that long. And then my period never came. And I think at that point I was like, what have I done? Because I had regular periods before I went on the pill. So I started freaking out, and, you know, a part of me was a little bit like, what's going on here? I don't understand. Like, why has this happened? So obviously then, after a year of not having periods, I went to the doctor. The doctor tried to give me some medicine to force a period to come. It didn't work with that. I can't remember the tablet. Prevera, that was it. They gave me Prevera to try and force a period. It didn't work. All the way through, obviously coming off of the pill, you've got your mood swings. The first 3 months anyway, those mood swings and those kind of like weight fluctuations. It wasn't so bad for me in that first year, my weight fluctuations. I could notice them a little bit, but nothing massive. But I know that you noticed yours, didn't you?
It was horrible. I remember I was trying to put trousers on, and you were in the room at the time, weren't you? And I was putting them on, and I just thought, I am getting to a stage where I'm struggling with this because I'm eating really healthy, I'm exercising, and I'm just holding on weight. And it is so frustrating because you're like, I'm doing everything. At the end of the day, if hormones are imbalanced, your body's going to hold. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Yeah.
And that's what I noticed. When my period did actually start to come. So after 13 months, I think it was, I got my first period, but I'd stopped with the alcohol. I'd now been diagnosed as polycystic ovaries, having PCOS. I'd gone for my scan. They'd said, yeah, you've got double the amount of eggs, you're not ovulating, you've got lots of follicle things that aren't getting released or whatever. They're not maturing, that's what it is, isn't it? But I didn't have the high testosterone. That's one thing that I didn't have. My hormones weren't imbalanced in that way, but I did have the missing periods, which is confirmation of PCOS. But now, so I've had this first period, and then it was a couple of months. I also started taking my own inositol, which you told me about, which helped. And I stopped training so much at the gym.
Yeah, because that's the stress. I think if you're, especially the women that are trying to get their periods back, or even women that are trying to have babies, have to have children, a lot of you're putting so much stress in your body. You're telling your body, I'm not safe, I'm stressed. And if your body feels stressed, it's not going to want to have a baby. You know, it goes back to the caveman days.
We always talk about the cavemen.
We do talk about. Do you know what, right? I respect the cavemen. They survived so we could be here. They survived terrible terrain. So we could be here.
I would not be a good caveman. A woman.
I'd keep you alive.
Cave woman.
I'd keep you alive. Don't you worry. If you want
I'd be blind. My
I'd just be feeding you.
My contact lenses are so strong. Like, I'd be so blind. I do wonder about that. I'd be like, I would have died years ago if I was a cave woman because of my... Although, sometimes I wonder if my eyes would have got, like, better. I think my eyes are so bad because I've been put on high prescription lenses. It'd be interesting to know if I'd never worn them, whether or not they'd have got as bad as what they are now.
Well, this is my mum went to the opticians and she was supposed to have glasses a long time ago, but, well, not supposed to. It said have glasses, but then our optician was like, Don't do it because your eyes are going to deteriorate.
They do because they get used to it. They get lazy. Yeah. I swear to God, that's what happens. So I got diagnosed with PCOS, started taking it a little bit more seriously. I was a little bit shocked at this point, being with my partner, obviously, and then he was getting tested as well, just to make sure everything was okay with him. And then he got told he's got low sperm count. So we were like, what does this look like for children? Wish we'd known this sooner. And it's mad, and it's all those years on the pill had masked any symptoms that may have been present because I'd been on some form of contraception from the age of 15 and not really noticed. I don't think I was educated to the point to notice whether my periods were coming every month. I thought I was having them every month. Like I said before, they were regular. In my head, they were regular. Whether that was 30 days, whether that was 40 days, I don't know. I wasn't counting, but I knew they were regular before the pill. And they certainly were more regular than not having a period for a year. And I think people don't realise that when you come off the pill, it does take time for your body to regulate. And luckily now, I'm in a place where it seems they're becoming more regular. So now I'm wondering, well, am I even PCOS or am I post-pill PCOS? Like, what's really going on there? I mean, the fact that I've got loads of eggs suggests maybe I am PCOS, but I don't know. Is that to do with me not taking is that to do with me taking the contraceptive pill? They don't really talk you through this at all. And I think that's a shame, and I think a lot of people don't know. And when I was on this journey of coming off the pill and not having a period, I definitely felt abnormal. I definitely didn't feel like I was a woman. I definitely felt, it's almost like I felt blocked. I felt like things weren't flowing. I can't explain it. And now I've had a period, I started gaining the weight. That's when the weight gain came, in those 3 months that the periods have started coming. And now I'm starting to feel regulated again, so the weight's starting to come off again. So it's the same as you. I think it's that period where they've come back and your body's going, what is going on? What is going on? But I'm in this stage now where things are starting to regulate a little bit more, and I don't know, it feels like a film's been lifted. Like when I was on the pill, it's almost like my emotions were very stable, but I wasn't seeing things clearly. I can't even explain it. Now, my emotions, luckily I'm a mindset coach, and that's one thing I'd like to talk about as well, actually. My emotions are a little bit more up and down, but I feel clear. I feel like I've got more clarity, a bit more self-awareness. I'm just a little bit more like aware of my surroundings at times.
I feel like my cycle, when I first had my period, I genuinely didn't, I was not thinking it was coming. Remember, I was just like, it's not coming. I'm not expecting it.
You were here.
I was here. Oh my goodness, I was here. I genuinely did not expect it. See, when it came, I have never felt so feminine. It was so strange when it came. And I genuinely, I had just a really quick, it was quite a moment because I did not think I was ever going to get it.
Yeah.
And it was the first one I'd had again since I was 16. Like that is, and that feeling, and since then I feel like I'm more emotional, I feel more, and then I get more hungry at certain points, and I'm on this cycle, and I feel like I'm more in tune with my body, and I know when I should be exercising, and when I should be relaxing a little bit more, when I can do a little bit more work, and when I need to kind of like, okay, I need to take the foot off the pedal a little bit because my body's saying I'm tired. I am more in sync with my body, not being on the pill.
Hormones are responsible for everything, aren't they? And I know, like being a mindset coach, that they're responsible for your mood, and you're putting synthetic hormones into your body. That's gonna interfere with so much. And I know that coming off the pill, I would wake up in the morning, and this is something for people to be aware of if they're thinking about coming off the pill. I would wake up in the morning in such a low mood. And I've spent years getting myself to a really great place in terms of my mood and how I manage my emotions. Luckily for me, I have the tools. I know what to do. I know get to the gym. I know meditate. I know what am I putting into my mind, listen to a podcast, move my body, make sure I'm rehydrating, eat food in the morning, all those different things to get rid of any anxiety or depression. I know the tools. So I would spend sometimes up to an hour a day priming myself so that I'd got out of that funk, got out of that mood, so that it didn't stick. So that habit of feeling that way didn't stick over a prolonged period of time, because then it's harder to get out of it. But so many people, when they come off the pill, they don't have that support. That you go to the doctor and you say, I'm going to come off the pill. They don't warn you about that. They don't warn you that your mood might drop. They don't warn you that you might gain a little bit of weight, that you might lose a little bit of weight. They don't warn you of the mental health challenges that we face when we come off the pill, and the understanding that your partner needs to have as well. Poor men, who have to deal with us when we're coming off, not just men, but like friends and family as well as you're adjusting. Yeah. Luckily, we communicated that to the people around us, right? And they were very understanding. But it was still, I remember about a month and a half off of the pill, I was just really upset, and I got really upset over the smallest thing in the middle of the road with Tom, and I just started having a bit of a tantrum, a bit of a strop. I've not done that for bloody years. And I literally had like this strop in the middle of the road, and I couldn't explain why, and I couldn't explain where it was coming from, and Tom was just stood there like, what's going on with my girlfriend? Like, she's going batshit crazy.
Do you know, the doctor, I remember I went to the doctor when I put weight on, and I remember I went to her, and she was aware of the whole PCOS thing. She's the one that told me to come off the pill. She was like, come off the pill and we'll do all the tests and stuff and see where you're at, because I wanted to do the test for, I was losing some of my hair, I wasn't on the pill.
Oh, yes.
So that's why I ended up coming off, because I said, I'm getting concerned, I'm perimenopause. I'm early perimenopause, so can I do the tests? So I went back to her, because I put weight on. And I said, look, I'm putting the weight on. Can I get maybe someone to help me? Like, can you got any advice? She suggested, because of my knee, I have a bad knee, because she suggested that I go to Weight Watchers. That's what she suggested. And I said, I'm a health coach. I know what I'm eating. I said, it's my hormones. Like, there's something imbalanced. I'm eating, I'm exercising what I should be doing. I'm not losing the weight. I don't know what to do. And you're telling me to lose weight for my knee. And yeah, she said Weight Watchers. So
I remember that, because it was actually your knee why you went in the first place, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that's because you were so upset, and you were like, I've just been to the doctors because my knee's been playing up. She's told me to lose weight, and it was at this really, emotional point where you've come off the pill and you're feeling very, very vulnerable and you're gaining this weight and you're feeling self-conscious because your body's changing, and then you go to the doctor and she sends you to Weight Watchers because you've got too much weight for you. And at this point I was in shock because you weren't even, like, you were still slim, like obviously bigger than what you were used to, and every woman can relate to that. You know, sometimes you look in the mirror and you see things that other people don't because you're used to your body every day. You know how your jeans fit. But yeah, you were so upset. I remember that. That was awful. A severe lack of understanding, I think.
Absolutely. And to send someone, and I think this is why, again, as a health coach, doctors do not have enough time to do all the research. They do not have enough time to sit there and be like, okay, well, what's going on? What's happening?
And it's changing, isn't it? It's constantly changing and being updated. And this is the other thing as well. In their heads, they're thinking, this is going to... If their research is saying it's not going to damage you, there are no risks, or there's limited risks, or whatever, you know, we do know that there are certain risks with cancers and stuff like that, blood clots. But if they think, you know, there's limited risks and it's going to prevent you from having a baby that you don't want, you're weighing it up, aren't you? So I do get it, and I'm not trying to, you know, point the finger at doctors. But what I am kind of saying is there should be more resources out there to help women understand the problems of being on the contraceptive pill and how long it takes for your body to adjust afterwards, if it does adjust. You know, some people... So when I went to the doctor after a year of no pill, did loads of research, post-pill amenorrhea it's called, some people don't get their periods back ever. Where is that? Why was I not told about that? Because if I was told about that in my late 20s, I would have come off earlier. 100%. Maybe I wouldn't have come off in the beginning because I didn't want children. And I'm very grateful for the fact that it's prevented that. Like, we can't discount the positives in terms of, you know,
the freedom it's given us. It's given us so much freedom, like literally through our relationships. Because I think the thing is, when you're in a long-term relationship as well, always having to, when you're sitting, you're in a passionate moment and put the condom on, it gave you that freedom to also feel more connected to your partner. But what's interesting is I am more sensitive now than what I was on the pill. Like, when it comes to, you know, intimacy.
Interesting.
Because the pill, I just think, just numbed. I was just numb. I didn't, it wasn't, now that I'm off, I think because more, the hormone is my body, I'm just more in touch with my body. I just feel like I'm more aware.
So do you think the coaching helped with that as well, though? I'm wondering.
The coaching did, yeah, absolutely, because that, with the coaching, there was so many barriers and blockages that I had and I'd put up from like when I was younger, my very first boyfriend, like I'd put barriers up. And
what do you mean by barriers?
So the barriers that stopped me actually, like, orgasming. Like, I didn't orgasm. Like, I could and then I couldn't.
So you could?
I could when I first started, and then they stopped. And I'd put a block up because I wasn't happy in the relationship I was in.
So there's like an emotional block.
Yeah, so I put that block. And then I think over time it was just, you know, that block gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And I just thought, okay, that's it. That's just what it is now. Sex is not, it doesn't kind of go to that level anymore. Obviously there's a beautiful connection. I think sex is wonderful. Like, it's not just about, you know, the final result. It's the connection you have with someone, the intimacy, the connection. I think it's so much beauty in that, and especially with your special person. Like, I just think it's wonderful.
But it must be frustrating.
Very frustrating. Like, yeah, it was like you wouldn't get to it. And I think it's because I'd felt like I knew what it felt like and I knew what it should be like, and then I wasn't getting it.
And I think it's different because I've got friends who have never had an orgasm.
Oh, see.
And so, or like one of them actually said to me once, I don't know. And I was like, I think you might know.
Yeah.
But for you to have had it and then to not, then you might start thinking, oh, there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, yeah, that's absolutely. But I knew I had blocked it mentally. I knew it was a mental block because I remember it happening. I remember it. Like, I remember saying things in my head and just being like, during that certain relationship, and then slowly it got harder and harder and harder, and then I was like, it's gone. And I thought, I've just done that. Which just shows you the power of the mind, by the way. The power of the mind. But I'm
not sure I would use it in that way.
No, it's the worst way to use it, but it just shows you, if you want it, if you can really do anything, if you put your mind to it. But I think, yes, doing the life coaching, like opening certain barriers and blockages, that 100% helped me get to where I am now. And then also,
because you had your, did you have it, you had it before you came off the pill? You managed to get all synced up again,
I
didn't
was
you?
feeling things, but I'd never had it properly. I was feeling things. So I was getting, so it's recently, I have managed to, I'm getting there now. Like, so it's after being off the pill has been more, that is when I've been like, I'm getting it to the stage of,
You're
this
really
is it.
starting to feel it now.
This is it. Because obviously before that I was feeling it and I was like, oh, I'm just feeling stuff. And you'd feel stuff, but not like to that level. And then now, off the pill, completely different, on a different level.
New levels,
back.
wow,
It's all back.
interesting.
So I believe that the pill has also had something to do with that. It was definitely my mindset. I blocked it. But at that point, when it stopped, I'd been on the pill for 3 years. And it can stop. It can stop that. It can take away sensitivity down there as well. So I believe it was a pill, and also my space and my relationship I was in at the time and what I blocked in that. And then after that, I've done my mindset work to help clear those barriers that I built, and I'm off the pill now. And yeah, I'm back to normal. I'm back to, not normal, it's not even normal, sorry, I wouldn't like to say that's normal. I'm back to what my normal was when I first started.
I guess that's, but I really like empathise with you with that though, because you must not have felt normal during that period. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it is difficult, you know?
I think because I didn't think I could get periods either. I think with all of that, I just felt, I think part of me also thought that was all just the mindset thing, the blockages, and maybe all of that was just connected. I don't know, like I was just a bit broken. Yeah. I don't know, I felt a bit broken. And any woman that isn't feeling it does not mean that you're broken in any way. What would be interesting is like maybe try things. Like I would say, don't just think, oh, I can't get it. Like there are, maybe it's just some certain things that you need to make a little bit more sensitive. Like maybe you need to just use certain things. Like there's loads of, I'm not advertising toys here, but like there are things that you can do to try and stimulate that. Because you know, if you've never had it, then I don't know, maybe there's something there. Maybe that is like maybe a hormone imbalance, or there's something underneath that.
It could also be this, you get into your head about it though. Like it's just not going to happen for me. Just because it hasn't happened, I guess I would say don't think that it's not possible, and certainly get off the pill.
Well, that's it, and I think it could be possible, but also that's like with pregnancy as well. Like pregnancy is a lot of blockage in your brain as well, like in your mind, that can actually block you from, if you're saying I'm never going to get pregnant, that can actually block you as well. And I know there's some practitioners out there as well that deal specifically with that. But if I've managed to do that with my boundaries, with what I've had with you, like you just think that there's so many, if you can get into those limiting beliefs and those barriers that you're creating, if you can get in there and unblock that, like the power that is in that to really help.
Because there's so many different things associated with like letting go in those moments, you know what I mean, and control and trust. There's loads, it's a huge topic. I was thinking then back to when you were talking about how your hair was falling out, and that's why you came off the pill. Just got me thinking about the changes when you were talking about that, the changes coming off the pill. And that's one of the things that I was relatively shocked at. So your sex drive, and not sex drive, but your ability to connect in that way went up. For me, I didn't notice any changes really there. I definitely haven't been more emotional, but my hair started falling out. Do you remember? And it was falling out so bad, and so was yours. They don't warn you about that either. It's stopped now, but I remember having clumps in the bathroom, and I don't have much hair anyway. Not like I'm bald or anything, but my hair is very thin. So when it was coming out, I was like, oh my God. And like I've got these little, can you see them? Little kiss, like little tiny bits of hair here, especially here, like these. What the hell are these? Look at these. People who are listening will be like, what is she pointing at? But they don't tell you about that either. So there's lots of different changes that happen in your body. But I must say, I wish I shouldn't live my life in regrets, and I don't normally, but I think with this, I would have come off earlier. I am just getting to the stage now, after nearly a year and a half of being off of it. I think my periods are regular. I don't know, I've only had one where it's been after 30 days, but I'm starting to notice the things you were talking about, the patterns. So certain parts of my cycle, I'm more hungry. Certain parts of my cycle, I'm less hungry. Certain parts, I'm a bit more grumpy. Some certain parts, you know. And that feels really amazing. It feels really amazing to connect to myself and my body in that way. And I feel like I've missed that. I've missed that over the last 15 years. Not to mention any long-term repercussions of being on the pill. I still don't know whether I'll get pregnant. You still don't know that. We don't know whether or not it's affected that. So many women it hasn't affected, and that's amazing, and it does give us the freedom to work and not to worry, and there's so many positives about it, 100%, hands down. But I do feel like putting kids on it when they're 15, 16 without really explaining what they're doing and how the hormones affect your body. Like, I didn't get taught how hormones affect my body. I didn't get taught about how they affect my weight, how they affect my health, how they affect my mindset, my tendency to be depressed, my anxiety levels, all of these different things.
Literally
hormones, everything. You don't get taught that. You just think you're taking something to stop you from getting pregnant.
I know. And I remember my thyroid was off as well. I think my T4 was higher as well. Remember that? Got my bloods done and my T4 was higher. So even my thyroid, and that was in that first year of coming off, that was just, my body was just really trying to find a balance at that point, and things were off, and it's taken, that has now been, well, it's a year to really, everything to be balanced out. And my hair stopped falling out as much at all. Like, I think I got to a stage where my body was like, you need to come off the pill now, this is enough. Like, my body was telling me things were happening, and I was like, I needed to come off of it.
Well, I was getting ill all the time.
Yes, you
Remember?
were.
So that's why I came off the pill. I went to, that was the initial reason, wasn't it? It wasn't even about the pregnancy. It's funny what comes back, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
I'm mad. And I went to the doctors, I was getting ill all the time. They did a full blood count, and I was deficient in loads of different vitamins and nutrients. And I was like, what is going on here? And I was researching it, and it came up that the pill creates malabsorption. Like, it stops you from absorbing certain vitamins. And of the list, it was all the ones that were on it. So that's why I came off. And I'm not nowhere near as ill now as what I used to be.
It is just mad. And were you ill a lot when you were younger? Or did that start at a later stage?
I would always be like a bit of a snotty child. However, bit of a snotty child. However, I didn't have a great diet when I was younger. I didn't look after myself properly when I was younger. As I got older, I am so healthy. You know I'm so healthy. So it's hard to tell because my diet, my lifestyle, my stress, my cortisol levels, everything has gone down, especially, since I've been working on up here and, been coaching myself. Everything has got better in terms of I eat loads of vegetables, I eat loads of salad, I don't eat, loads and loads of sugar, don't drink as much as what I used to, don't eat much processed stuff. So it's hard to say whether or not, it's related. But what I do know is that me 3 years ago to me now, when I was eating the same foods and doing the same habits, I get less ill now, 100%. And when I do get ill, I fight it quicker.
Do you know, it is mad because all the things that can happen from being on the pill, all the negative things, obviously we do recognise that are positives to it, 100%, but there's also the negatives that maybe people should be aware of. But I think being aware of you wanting to get pregnant, thing is though, some people come off the pill and they get pregnant
they do,
like in the first 2 months.
Yeah.
It really does depend. Everybody's body is so different. But if you're on that pill, you've been on the pill for a while, and then you're thinking, actually, I want to have a child, I would probably say, what I would say is it's taken us a year to get balanced. Get off like a year before, maybe 2 years before you actually want to try, maybe a year.
2 years, I would say 100%.
Yeah, 2 years. If you're with your partner that you want to, you're obviously thinking, let's have the child, because maybe if you do get pregnant, then
but even if
timing might not be great. But
even if you're not, if you're single at 36 and you're like, oh wait until I meet my person, you meet your person, 37, say, like, this is all hypothetical, 38, you're like, let's have a child. I'll come off the pill, I'll get pregnant like that. What if it took you a year and a half like me to get those periods? You're nearly 40 and you're freaking out. Like, I think if it's something that you want and you are in your mid-30s, you've got to really assess what's the priority. Is the priority being able to have the children when you desire, or is it not having the kids, and take it from there?
And I think also, what I find is when I hit my mid-30s, my worry was about the perimenopause, because I was like,
Yeah.
because I'm in early perimenopause, is this something that I need to be concerned about? And when you're on the pill, it masks it. So I think I went and got the blood test done, and when I got the results, the doctor was like, I don't understand why you've done this, because the pill, I can't read this. It's not going to be a proper reading if you're on the pill. Another reason why, obviously, with that was like, I'm going to come off. Well, that was the main reason I'm going to come off, and I want to see what's happening, because my hair was falling out. But I do think I think you're right when you're saying that if you are mid-30s and you are looking to have a baby, then prepare yourself, and just be on, use other forms of contraception. It is difficult when you then meet someone that you're with, and it's hard, isn't it? Like, get the condom on, it can be tricky, but.
Oh, Tom's always trying.
It's
I'm like, nope, not going near me. No way, not without a little glove. Not
you know what?
without a glove.
Do you know what the conversation should be as well, though? But guys using the pill.
Trust.
The guy to be taking the pill.
Are you joking?
Well, if it was my long-term partner, every morning I'd be like, there we go, we're going to take this little pill.
Tom can't remember to take his vitamins. He can't even remember to cook himself dinner sometimes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
To be fair, I think he watches children anyway now, so I think he'd be like, oh yeah, I'm taking my tablet. I'm taking it.
he'd trap me. 100% he'd trap me. But no, I do not trust men. No disrespect to men. I'm sure some men are very on it, but I do not trust my man to take that.
To remember.
No, to remember that. No. Absolutely not. He would 100% forget. But, who knows what will happen in the future? Maybe it will be something that I don't think men would want to take it.
I mean, well, but the thing is though, if it makes them kind of like inactive.
Tom said to me, he wouldn't take it.
Oh really? Why?
Probably don't want to put something that shouldn't be in his body.
And then we are doing it. We're doing it for from the age of 15, 16, 17.
For 20 years.
So yeah, I think it's such a big topic. It's I think, and there's so many women out there, as you're saying, that maybe they don't know if they want to take it or not, and even women that are on the coil. And I want to mention the coil actually, because there's a marina coil, that's the one with the hormones.
Yeah.
There's a copper coil, but I've also got a friend that was on the copper coil, and they got copper. It wasn't, I don't know, it was poisoning, but the copper coil introduced more copper into the system, and she was getting symptoms of basically too much copper in the body, so she had to take the coil out. So it's like, you just have to, I think it's like what works for you, what's right for you, and also being aware of things, the negative things that can come with the pill as well, and maybe even taking a break, being like, maybe be on the pill and then take a break, and just allow your system to kind of catch up. Because I know girls that do that. I know girls that go on the pill when they're in a relationship, when they come out, they come off the pill, and they're off the pill for a long period of time before they go back on.
It plays with you though, doesn't it? Like, I don't think I could have ever done that. Like, it took me a while. My body took about 6 months to feel. I'd start the pill and it'd take me 6 months to kind of feel a bit regulated, and to come off and to go back on, and to come off and to go back on. That wouldn't sit with me at all. So I get why women don't want to do that. Yeah. You know what's just come up for me then? With the copper coil, the mercury in your teeth with filling. That's another conversation.
That is another conversation.
Because apparently your silver fillings can put mercury in your teeth. Oh my God, I've got silver fillings from when I was a kid. Mad. Anyway, we have ribbited on about this topic for a while. Can you tell we're passionate about it? And I feel like there's so much more we could say, but maybe we can do a part 2 of this one. This is a big one.
I think I think maybe if anybody has anything they want us to discuss, or questions that we can possibly, from our experience, maybe try and answer in any way, then send them in. Would love to hear what your experiences have been on the pill, and anything you've learned really that you think other people should know. Yeah,
like how we came off of it, and what helped us, and certain vitamins that we took. Yeah. Do your own research, of course, but if people have got any questions about that, feel free to shout out. But we would love to know your thoughts. Are you on the pill? Are you not? Are you thinking of going on the pill? If you're a man, would you want your woman, your lady, to go on the contraceptive pill, or are you someone who's kind of like, stay away, stay clear? Let us know your thoughts and your comments, and thank you so much for listening. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much. Bye guys.
Bye.